Hello, everyone. Welcome back to another episode of Journey to Christmasland with Kira and Amelia. I am your trusty tour guide through Christmasland, Kira Davis, and I'm here with the resident Christmasland expert, Amelia Hamilton. Amelia, how are you doing today?
Doing well, feeling jolly.
I feel very jolly. I'm glad we're home. We're back in our cozy surroundings. We took a brief girls' trip to Holiday Land, and it was traumatizing, but we're back in cozy land
Yeah.
of hot chocolate and snowball fights.
It is good to be home.
It is good to be home. We had a good time, though. We had a good time. We got some interesting audience reactions from the last couple of episodes. Um, but today we're going back to an old staple. We are closing out great story, some story that we've been following for years, both on this podcast and the other iteration of this podcast. But before we get into today's episode, Amelia, I first want to encourage everyone to like, subscribe, hit the share button. Most of all, sign up for our Substack. That's where all of the
Yep.
interesting things will be happening as we get our bonus content up. You'll see all the information on the screen. It costs you absolutely nothing. And if you enjoy cheesy Christmas movies or you enjoy hearing us talk about cheesy Christmas movies, you'll enjoy this. And we're going to have some giveaways over there as well. So you'll want to
Yeah.
sign up. But before we get going, Amelia, I was just wondering, at the Christmas, well, anytime gift giving time of the year, but particularly at Christmas when we're giving so many gifts, a lot of people run out of ideas. They don't know what to do. They want to be original. I'm not a great gift giver, but you're a fabulous gift giver. Do you have any tips for cheap, or we don't like to say cheap, low cost gifts that are also thoughtful, maybe at the holidays?
I always think something homemade, something that came from the heart, write somebody a nice letter, tell somebody you just want to spend some time with them. I guess it goes back to the love languages thing maybe, but whatever, whatever might mean something to them. One of my favorite things we got a few years ago, a group of us girlfriends got together and exchanged letters for each other at Christmas. It was kind of a secret Santa, but we did letters instead of gifts. The letter I got for me was one of my favorite gifts. So I think those little personal things can really mean a lot more than if you just go out and are like, I'm going to grab a candle. I'm going to grab some lotion for somebody. There's
I
really
love
more
that.
put into
I
that.
love that. What a great idea. I've recently started doing that because since I'm a writer, I'm a
Mhm.
terrible gift giver. I am the gift card person. Like, here, choose something that you would like. But lately I realized that writing is a gift and it's okay to, like you said, write someone a note, write someone a poem. So I've started doing that and my friends have appreciated that as well. Yeah. And especially as we get older, we don't need more stuff.
No.
Right. So I'm always trying to think of gifts that will be useful and won't take up a lot of space in someone's life. One thing I like to do is I like to order precious metals, like a
Mm.
little silver round, or not gold is really expensive, but silver or copper is starting to rise. And you can even get coins that are stamped with Christmas messages. And, silver starts at maybe $40, $50 a round.
Mm.
Um, and everyone needs precious metals. And then the other gift that I like to give is a flower delivery service.
Mhm.
So a monthly service. I've done that for my mother-in-law a few times over the years because she's old. She doesn't need more stuff.
Right.
So she gets a nice fresh bouquet of flowers hand delivered to her home every month, all year long. Um, and that's a nice, I think that's a nice sort of, it's not as cheap, I
Yeah.
suppose, but you can do it for like 3 months or 2 months, little gifts like
I love
that.
it.
Yeah. Let us know what you do, what your cheap go-to thoughtful gift is for people. I will say this also, Amelia, one of the traditions I married into, in my husband's family, and forgive me, the dog's probably gonna start to bark here because the landscapers are out there with the leaf blowers, and she's gotta keep us safe.
Of course.
But my husband's family, when I married into his family, he has a big family, And what we would do is we would draw names every year, and
Mhm.
then you had to make your gift for
Ooh,
the person. Yeah. So it was a lot of fun because it would be this mix of, um there's some people you really wanted to get your name, like, my father-in-law could make things, could build things. You
yeah.
always wanted him or Uncle Bill to get your name. They'd build you something, build you a dresser or something, or Veronica's a seamstress, so she'll
Mhm.
design you something. But then if you get some other folks, I'm not naming no names, you're gonna get, like, a loaf of bread. So, it was always fun.
Nice.
All
I
right.
mean,
Well, let's get into it. And again, please drop your answers. What's your cheap go-to gifts or interesting go-to gifts? All the information right there on the screen. Let's get into today's movie, Amelia. This is the third in a trilogy. We're saying goodbye to this storyline. Set
yeah.
us up.
Saying goodbye to the Brenner boys. It is we had the 3 wise men and a baby, the 3 wiser men and a boy, and this is the 3 wisest men, and they've, I guess, dropped the kid out of the title for this one, but oh well. Got the 3 wisest men this year. Um, so it opens very similar, I mean, the same as the other 2 with Andrew Walker's character Luke doing his affirmations in the mirror. That's how we do it in Wise Men Land. But
That's how
now
you should start the third movie.
is how
That's how
you
you
should
should start.
start.
You should start it. You should end it the way you started it.
You gotta do it. We find out right away that his wife Sophie, who we've known for all 3 movies, is 8.5 months pregnant with twins.
Supposedly. She doesn't look very big for,
No.
having 2 babies.
No.
She's the size I was with just 1.
And all right, Thomas, the little boy that they already have, um, well, Luke is, panicking. He's trying to be Mr. Organized. He's always like on top of it, wants to take care of everybody. And Thomas, the little boy, is getting kind of like forgotten in all this.
Yeah.
So in the first time we see Thomas is just a couple minutes in, he sees this toy on TV, the Mighty Mech. It's like MECH. It took me a minute to figure out what this toy was called. Um, he sees the commercial, he's trying to tell his dad, like, that is it, that is the toy, that is what I want. And his dad's like, dude, we don't have time. We gotta drop you off at grandma's. We're going to a birthing class. Like, turn off the TV. And his dad throws something at him, or he throws something at his dad. Excuse me. That would have been a little odd. So something's going on with Thomas.
Yeah, he throws his I think it's a pair of rolled up socks, so it's nothing,
Yeah.
crazy, but he throws it. I was like, "Hey, no
Yeah.
throwing. You do not let your children throw things at you. You do not let
No.
your children throw things at you."
No. I also thought I totally agree. I also thought he should have been a little bit curious why Thomas was acting completely not like himself because he's been a
Yeah,
perfect child
yeah.
previously.
But he's too distracted because
But
he's
he's
got
so
a lot going
distracted,
on in his life. He's
which is
got
the problem.
impossibly small twins being delivered
Yeah.
very soon.
So now we come to at least my least favorite couple. I think your least favorite couple probably Stefan and his girlfriend. What's her name? Something. Susie.
Annie?
Susie.
Susie. Susie, I do wanna say about Susie, I do wanna say this. I said this is in the last film as well. I appreciate her sweater game. I'm
Yeah.
actually really enjoyed her, wardrobe
Yeah.
as
I do
well.
like her wardrobe. I like her
Yeah,
vibe.
she was impeccably dressed, but I
So
do find them to be the most cloying couple of this series. I think by the now that we're 3 in, I and we'll talk about all of the different problems as we move along, but I besides all that, I never quite found this couple
yeah.
endearing enough to sit through 6 years of relationship drama with them.
No. I know. And I don't think she would in real I mean, not in real life because she's not real, but you know what I mean.
Yeah.
So they're trying to plan their wedding, and Stefan cannot make a decision. And part of it is just Stefan being Stefan. Part of it is like, does a man really care about napkin color? I don't know. Maybe Susie should just pick one and tell him what it is, or not tell him what it is, because I don't think he cares.
I feel like this is a millennial, um, POV, right? This idea that I see it with my millennial friends, and I'm Gen X for anybody who doesn't know, but I see it with my millennial parent friends too of little kids, like, it's a weirder relationship they have where it's like, yeah, the guy everything's supposed to be 50-50. The
Yeah.
guy is supposed to be as interested in the wedding as you. Dad is supposed to be as involved with the babies as you. And it's really not that way. Dads aren't great with babies. There's a reason why women have babies. There's women are you're supposed to be the main nurturer for your baby. Um, and I don't, yeah, I don't think men are that involved. Some, but
Yeah.
am I, like, complaining if my fiancé is not interested in the color of the napkins? I feel that's a bit
Yeah. It was a bit
over
much. But we get the impression that he has not been able to decide one single detail. The wedding planner's losing it, Susie's losing it, nobody's happy.
and we do know this about Stefan as well through the whole series that he's indecisive. That's sort of his calling card,
That's his
and I
thing.
wanna say this, and let me say all the things since this is our last visit with this family. Um, I appreciate how our screenwriters delineate these characters so well because in a lot of modern screenwriting, especially for TV, a lot of these younger writers, all they're doing is writing plot. They're not writing character. Every
Mhm.
character sounds the same because all
Yeah.
they're trying to do is get A to B. And so I appreciate that these people are consistent characters
Yeah.
throughout the universe. They've done a
That's
great
true. Yeah.
job from beginning to end.
Yeah. Okay, we check in with brother 3, Taylor, and he is out in Silicon Valley having a meeting. Um, he doesn't really know what he wants to do. Yeah, they want to partner with him. It's like a dream come true. He can make his big game that he wants to make, but he would have to move to Silicon Valley. And, he's always been near his family. He's not sure he wants to go. And then we find out that Fiona, his girlfriend from the first movie, but not his current girlfriend, or no, I'm sorry, she was his ex-girlfriend even in the first movie, but he kind of, she was kind of the one that got away, but they
Mhm.
became friends again in the first movie, and then in the second he met Caroline, who he's still with. Um she actually got him this job interview. And she's kind of the one who opened the door for him. He didn't realize that. So he's kind of freaking out that Fiona's in the office. He doesn't know about moving. He's kind of paralyzed about what to do here. Back home, um, Susie is telling Stefan that he needs to chill out. He can't be panicking about every little decision. And then as they're talking about his need to calm down, the ceiling starts leaking. Um, Turns out that it's going to take a week to fix the leak in the ceiling. So they have to stay at mom's house and they kind of just drop into the conversation that Roy is out of town. I was sad that we didn't get to see what's happening with Roy.
Yeah, you know what? I was real sad about that too. Who knows how that went down? Maybe the actor just wasn't available for
Yeah.
most of the production, and so they had to figure out something to do with him, or they just really didn't wanna bother with him in the storyline. Probably
Yeah.
that's it as well. But yeah, I was really sad because I yeah, as
Yeah.
everyone knows, we love hated Roy. We hate loved Roy. Um, Amelia was very annoyed at how useful he was.
But I still liked him, like, I liked him for the mom, I thought that was a sweet storyline.
I kinda
I
wanted to
put myself
see
in the shoes of the brothers.
yeah, I guess I had hoped that and spoilers here, I guess I had hoped that we would get to see the mom close out her love story.
Right, yeah, I wanted to see that too.
It's something I would have liked to have already maybe come up on them already married, maybe even.
Yeah, but we
There's
know.
not a lot of marriage
Yeah,
in this movie,
there's not.
not
So
nearly enough,
not
if
enough.
I might say so myself.
So we know they're still together, but he's out of town, they're gonna stay at the house. We also find out that Susie's dad does not like Stefan, so that's just like a little nugget to hold on to for now, but Stefan is kind of avoiding the dad because they don't get along. That night they all end up at the mom's, which again is kind of it's something that we've seen in the first 2 movies where, like, the first day, that the movie takes place, they all end up at the mom's house for dinner, and that's kind of where the plot kicks off. So, they're all at the mom's, Susie and Stefan have just gotten there to stay. Thomas is trying to make a gingerbread house, he's asking everyone for help, no one is paying attention to him
I
because
felt this.
I
Oh,
did
go ahead.
yeah, I know. I did too, but they have been to this, birth class, and so Luke is, like, freaking out that he's gonna start being, you know he's just gonna be so overwhelmed by having twins that he's gonna be a bad husband, that he's
And plus
ignoring
by this time, he's 42, he's probably 43
probably
by this
43 now, yeah,
yeah.
ew.
Ugh, God, like, he barely can move,
Right.
so he's old. frail and basically used up by
Basically used up.
humanity.
His
Yeah.
wife probably isn't even gonna want him, to be
It's
honest.
hard. Yeah, so he's struggling with that, but I felt it so bad when when everyone was like, "I don't have time for you, little boy." Like, "I don't have time
Mhm.
for you." It reminded me of the time, Amelia, when I was at my grandparents' house. My mom was helping they had a country home in
Mhm.
Ontario, Canada. My mom was helping in the garden, my grandparents and I had a bike, and I wanted people to help me teach me ride this bike,
Mhm.
but everyone was busy in the garden. I went to my grandpa, my grandma, my aunt, my
Yeah.
mom. Everyone said, "No, Carol, we don't have time. We don't have time." And so I went to try to learn how to ride the bike on myself by myself. I was like, "Fine, I'll do it on my own." And I
Yeah.
fell into an anthill and I like
Mhm.
completely on top of a giant ant
Oh,
mountain almost, and immediately was swarmed by
yeah,
ants. Like
no.
I had overalls on as well, so all the ants went
Yeah, they were
up my
everywhere.
legs, all over my body. I start
Mm-mm.
running towards my grandparents and mother in the garden, and I couldn't think of anything else to yell except, "I have ants in my pants. I have ants in my pants." And because I was yelling such a ridiculous thing, no one believed me. So no one would help me. So I'm running around screaming, like begging someone to help me. I have ants in my pants. And I finally had to strip in front, and then my grandmother saw all these ants, and they were biting me, and they were, like,
Yeah.
all over my like, I was completely
Ugh.
enveloped by that time because I had fallen right into an
Yeah.
active and anyway, that's what it reminded me of. I have ants in my pants, and
I
no one
can't
will
blame you.
help me.
Well, his trauma as an adult is gonna be gingerbread houses because nobody is paying attention. He's
No.
like he's like, "Okay, my parents are ignoring me, but Aunt Stefan's here, or Aunt Susie and Uncle Stefan are here, and Aunt and Uncle are always good for attention, but they're freaking out about the wedding planning. The dad is, mad at Stefan, and the house is leaking." So they're like, their heads are, whatever, wherever. Taylor is coming in. Taylor's the fun uncle, so this is gonna be great, but he's panicking because he just had this meeting in Silicon Valley, so no one is paying any attention. So Thomas again throws something to get everybody's attention, and it turns out that it's a flyer that the house that they all grew up in and where mom lives is for sale.
Yeah,
And that's
yeah,
hard to lose your childhood home. Like when my
it
parents bought the house
is.
I grew up in, that was hard.
I don't know what that's like.
So,
However,
so they
I
are
do
not
know what it's
doing
like for
great.
your yeah, I do know what it's like for your favorite characters to lose their home in
It's
Christmasland,
true.
and that's sad. Like, we have spent a lot of time in this home,
We have. We
and
have.
I think it's appropriate though, Amelia. I just wanna say I love this turn in the script because I was worried that there's stuff in here we didn't like. I think people knew that was coming, but I was worried that they might take the typical like a Hollywood turn and just sort of rip the rug out from under you and leave all kinds of open ends, and I
Yeah.
just feel like Kimberly Sested and Paul Campbell were, like, carefully tying this up, and
Mhm.
selling the house is a good thing. We're not gonna go back to it, like, this is the end of this story, and so I think it was appropriate for mom to be selling the house, and
Yeah.
I did feel a little bit of sadness the way the
Yeah.
boys might have.
Yeah. 'Cause she makes it clear, like, her sons are all grown. They're all doing their own thing now, although Taylor does still live in the basement.
Yeah,
He's gotta go.
he was
He's
like,
been talking.
"Hey, I live here too. I still live
Yeah.
here.
She's like, "No,
You
time for you
don't
to
count."
go." So, but she's like, "This is too much house for me. It's time for me to get something smaller. I wanna travel. I wanna do all these things." And they're sad, but they're understanding. So it was nice that they did it that way. Um,
Yeah.
but at that moment, Susie comes into the house and she's got her dad with her. And so he's got some stuff going on too.
Okay,
So
but let me can we just talk about who the dad was?
yeah. Yes, we can.
The dad is Lachlan Monroe,
Yes.
who's my age. I'm 51, everybody.
Do you
So
have a 43-year-old son?
yeah, I don't, and Susie is no spring chicken. Susie's for sure in her 40s, for
Mhm.
sure. And Lachlan Monroe, if you're Canadian, you know Lachlan Monroe very well. He's on a lot of Canadian shows when I was growing up. But if you're American, you know him from Beverly Hills 90210 and basically everything. He's just had he's a
Yeah.
great character actor. He does a lot of work
Yeah.
here in the States. but he's my age, and he's supposed to be
Yeah, the
sleeping
age is
fast.
not.
I was like, they made his hair white. I'll say this, he nailed it. He
He
nailed it.
did. He did a great job.
After a minute, I forgot that he was my age.
Yeah,
Mhm.
I know. Yeah, I had similar emotions of, like, the math is not mathing here, but I was willing to suspend that for Lachlan Monroe.
Yeah, and he nailed it. Yeah, great job.
Alright, so she comes in and there's so much weirdness with this character, but I liked it. Like, they gave him some depth. Again, they actually made him a whole person, not
Yeah,
just some weirdo to help the plot along.
right,
So,
right.
first of all, he doesn't even know who Stefan is. He looks at Luke, Andrew Walker's character, and he goes, "Hey, looks like you've been hitting the gym," thinking that that's Stefan. And they're all like, she's like, "No, Dad, that one is my fiance." Like, he does not even recognize the person that her daughter is dating, which,
That what
let's be
blew my
honest,
mind.
maybe,
They've been
yeah,
together for
5 plus,
6
so 6 years
years?
probably this Christmas.
Yeah.
Well,
I was
maybe
like,
that's why he doesn't like Stefan very much, because he's marrying his daughter and they don't even know each other.
right. He literally knows nothing about him, and I would feel strange if my daughter was living with a guy. They're living together. They live together.
For
They
5
share a
years,
home.
and you didn't even recognize him in a room.
They've never spent a Christmas together, a Thanksgiving together. They've never gone to a birthday party, a family reunion, a family wedding. Nothing. Yeah, I guess if I was the dad, I'd be a little upset too that I haven't met this guy who's been sleeping with my daughter for 4
Yeah.
years or 6 years. I
He
thought it
also
was weird.
brought he also brought his pet cockatiel, and we learn quick so they're gonna and he gets the guest house, which, as we know, is an independent dwelling, but it is on the property, and
Yeah.
it's where Stefan previously lived, so they figured they would just live in the guest house. It's kinda like staying with mom, but not. But now that the dad is here, he's gonna stay in the guest house, so they have to stay in the house with the mom, which is not, like, what you wanna do as an adult, but, you know,
Well, and
um,
as we know in Christmasland, everyone has a guest house.
everyone has a guest house,
Mhm.
but
That you,
Amelia.
Amelia.
So they go out there and he asks about rodents, and Stefan makes some joke about, like, "Yeah, the rodents in the guest house," and she's like, "You do not joke about rodents."
Right. You don't joke with her dad at all, right? He's very
Really
stern
ever.
man, ex-military.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Alright, we find out that Taylor and Caroline have been talking about taking the next step in their relationship, which, of course, is moving in together, not, getting engaged.
We have to address this, and I'm gonna read at the end just a snippet from an interview with the director and writer, or the writer
Mhm.
of this movie. So we'll get to that part at the
Yeah.
end. But this, as you well know, Amelia and I are Christmasland lovers because we love the innocence and, yes, the prudishness of the Christmasland universe. And so we do have a real problem with this. And I really thought it was so odd that why they didn't even need to go here, right? They
Yeah.
didn't even need to mention this part at all. They could we I'll bring up a good example, B&B Mary. Remember
Mhm.
at the end when they're like, "We're gonna
Yeah.
go travel the world together," me and you were like, "Oh, well, are they getting married
Yeah,
first?"
where are they staying? What are the sleeping arrangements? Yeah, they're just like, "We're not telling you."
Right, but we just like, "We're gonna let you make that decision based on what you know about this universe." Like,
Yeah.
you as you can imagine, they maybe are traveling before they married, but they probably have twin beds, right? Like, it's like that. They don't even give us the option to imagine.
Yeah.
So, they shove it in our faces, and I think that's what bothers me the
Yeah.
most. It's completely unnecessary, which feels purposeful, right?
Yeah.
Which feels
Oh,
like a
yeah.
purposeful dig at someone like me who watches the movies for innocence, and that's not very nice to do to your audience. I don't think that's very
Yeah. I
nice.
mean, they
And I know that sounds stupid and childish.
sort of, but I
I'm not
they
stupid
built
and
an
childish.
empire on this formula.
We have a formula. Amelia and I don't do this podcast because we're stupid and childish, actually. We do know what we're talking about, and we do appreciate the nuance of the lack
Yeah.
of nuance. All of
Right.
it goes together. So we don't appreciate being poked at purposefully, and that's what I felt was happening. You
Yeah.
don't even need to go there. You can just have an issue with him moving.
Yeah, and what are we gonna do?
What are we
We
gonna
care about
do?
each other, we're dating, we love each other.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then he tells her about how, he this was a great meeting, and okay, this bugged me on which probably I don't know if this bothered anyone else, but he says the meeting was in San Francisco. Earlier, he said it was in Silicon Valley, and let me tell you, I very briefly lived in Silicon Valley. No one is calling that San Francisco. Those are
Well,
not the
people who
same.
don't live in California call them the same thing,
Yeah, but
to be fair.
yeah, it just seemed like these are enough I would think that enough industry people would be involved in this to say, "Hey, those are not the same place." Like, aren't
Did
you
you?
tell
Did you think enough industry people would be involved in the
I
making
figured
of
they would
a
know at
Hallmark
some point in
movie?
their lives.
A lot of tech industry people? No,
Yeah,
I think
enough movie industry people who would have been in California.
these you think that the Hallmark movie people are worried about the details of
It
the
bothered me,
they
okay?
did
They're
it.
not in San
I
Francisco
think it
is not
makes sense
Silicon
to me.
Valley.
Now, I think most people in California think of San Francisco and Silicon Valley as the same place. I do. I do. Let's give Kimberly and Paul some grace here for that mistake. It's shorthand, right? For the big rich tech bros up. So it's Silicon Valley or San Francisco. They're trying to make it easy for for us
Well,
dummies out here,
originally
Amelia.
they said Silicon Valley, so I was like, "Just pick one." Anyway,
Trying to make it easy for us dummies out here. I mean, we're not all the best and brightest here in Christmasland.
fine,
Some of us
fine.
need the explanation.
Alright. So, we used to miss our Folgers product placement.
Oh my gosh, Amelia.
But at dinner, let me tell you, if there was one thing that brought that dinner together, it was a King's Hawaiian roll.
I mean, do you know that I wept? Do you know that I wept to see this blatant, unapologetic
It was
product
beautiful.
placement?
It was
It was
beautiful.
mwah, chef's kiss. Please bring us more. I miss product placement so much. We love the
Mhm.
absurd product placement in Christmasland.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, I was all for it.
I was
And I love
I hollered. I legitimately hollered.
yeah.
My husband was not in the room at the time, and he came into the room, he's like, "What happened?" I'm like,
You're like,
"Product placement."
yeah, it was so good. And that they fully went for it. Like, that was a nod back to the old days.
Yes, the
They
old
were like, "We're not gonna be subtle. We're gonna be like, this is a King's Hawaiian roll, and it is important to dinner. Here's a shot of the package."
yes. And she, like, presented it too.
Yeah.
She presented the bag of rolls, like, she didn't put the rolls out, like, into the, a dish and put it no, she presented the bag of rolls. "Oh, I almost forgot the dinner rolls."
Yeah.
Everybody went, "Oh, ooh, I love those." And they came out several times during the
Yeah,
show.
they sure did.
Loved it, loved it. Mwah, chef's kiss.
Perfect. They decide that because it is the last Christmas in this house, they're gonna make it the best Christmas ever. And
Great.
they come up with a little checklist, which is almost like our trope checklist.
Yeah.
Um, but one thing that I didn't realize, it took me like another 20 minutes after this in the movie where I went, "What is the plot of this movie?" Because in the first one, it's they find the baby and they have to take care of the baby and figure out what's
Mhm.
going on. In the second one, Thomas's play was ruined and they need to put on the play.
Right.
In this one, I felt like, but where is it felt like, okay, that they wanna make this the best Christmas ever, but and I was
Yes.
like, where is what is the what are we doing?
I okay, I think that the plan was I think the plot line was fine. Let's make
Yeah.
it the best Christmas ever. You're right, but there needed to be, like, are we ending it with like, on Christmas Eve, we'll have the big finale or the big lighting ceremony. Like, what are we gonna do
Right.
to celebrate or recognize the fact that we've accomplished the best Christmas ever,
Right. Or I
right?
thought it might be trying to find that toy, but you couldn't find it, and, that's
The plot
like
was a little soft. It was a
yeah,
little
and I
soft.
was like, yeah, like, what is the main thing we need to resolve here? Like,
Yeah.
I get what needs to be the best Christmas ever, but
I
what's standing in your way?
I think I had the same problem, and then I squared it in my mind by going, "I guess we're just saying goodbye to everybody," and
Yeah.
so I'll
Yep,
give
yep,
them a little, like and the 3rd in a trilogy, it's hard to keep, a
yeah,
stellar streak going. You're gonna get a little soft. So, yeah, but I agree with you. I did notice that too. I felt like we didn't have a real plot to drill down on.
yeah.
Yeah.
So, as they go, so I'm sorry, so Susie, Stefan, and I can't I have the dad's name written down somewhere. It's like Bill or Bob or something. I don't know. Bill, okay. They are,
Or Bob. It is Bill or Bob.
dad. They are going out the next morning, and Stefan's the last one to leave the house, and Jerry the bird, like, passes out. So, he goes over and opens the door to the bird cage being like, "Hey, Jerry, like, if something happens to you, dad is gonna be mad at me. You need to, like, wake up and be okay." So, Jerry, it turns out, is okay, wakes up, immediately flies out the window, and Stefan's like, "Oh, no. What do I do now?" And that's where we leave that for the moment, but it was
Did
quite
we talk
a
about
moment.
this bird when dad brought the bird in? The bird's salty. Bird's a little salty,
Mhm. Yeah,
and it doesn't like Stefan right away. It's Stefan out. Stefan is supposed to be like the animal whisperer or
yeah.
whatever. It doesn't like Stefan. So, this bird doesn't like him. This bird set him up. This bird set up Stefan.
Yeah, he did.
He
He knew what he was
didn't
doing.
like him and knew, so he played dead, and as soon as Stefan opened that thing, poof, he was gone.
He
What
was
a
out the window.
dastardly bird. See, this is why I don't like birds. They're
Kira's
sneaky.
afraid of birds, for those of you who don't know.
I'm terrified of birds. They're awful. And I don't know, I heard a conspiracy theory that they're not even real. They're actually just, cameras that the
Yeah, they're just
government operates.
spying on you. Could be. I mean, this bird was definitely up to something.
Yeah, it's crafty enough to fake its own death.
All right, Taylor is not having a great day either, which is Taylor's fault. He goes to the bar where Caroline is working now, which, by the way, a bar? Anyway, so she works at the bar, and she's ready to move. She's like, "Let's go to San Francisco together," which, I have some questions about. And so Taylor, he's like, I don't know. I don't really want to move." So she said, "Are you unsure about the job or unsure about me?" And he says, "I don't know what I want." Girl, that's enough information for you.
Red flag, red flag, red flags
Yeah.
all over this. I think we need to do a Christmasland advice column maybe for behind the paywall
Mhm.
because this is ladies, this is one when he says, "I don't know what I want,"
Yeah.
I'm not telling you what to do after that. I'm just telling you take him at his word.
Right. You don't want to leave everything, your community, your everything, and go move with this man.
No. No, please do not move with the man you are not married to. Don't
Mhm.
even take the ring and then move. Do not move until you are a committed, married couple. Do
But
not do it.
but
Do
if
not.
he's straight up telling you he doesn't know what he wants,
So
like
you're gonna
double
move,
double that advice.
right. You're gonna move, you're gonna uproot, upend your whole life, leave everyone you know, everything you know for a guy and go to a new city. And San Francisco is not for nothing. That city is not cheap to live in. That's a
Yeah.
hustle to live in San Francisco. You're gonna go to San Francisco. Um,
Silicon Valley. They're both expensive.
they're both extremely expensive. I can't imagine she's actually gonna open a bar in Silicon Valley, but
Oh, I thought she just worked at the bar because she wants to be a musician.
oh yeah. See, I don't even know. Anyways,
They're not making
it's
enough
a
money.
ridiculous proposition. Don't do it, ladies. You get that ring first. And what I mean the wedding ring, not the engagement ring, because
Oh,
you're
yeah.
uprooting everything. So you need that. You need to know he's as committed as you are.
Yeah. Yep, yep.
Okay.
At the mall, they are in line to see Santa. It is Thomas with his mom, Sophie, and grandma, was it Barb? Sophie starts having some Braxton Hicks contractions. So she's gonna go sit down. Um, and the um the uncles, Stefan and Taylor, take him up to see Santa. The elf is a little like weird to them. We don't know why yet. We find out later, but the elf is a little bit weird. He still gets to
I
go.
snipped this guy out
Okay. All
right
right.
from the
But the
top.
audience doesn't know quite yet why he's being weird. He goes to see Santa. Things are good. But back at the house, because Sophie's been having these Braxton Hicks and still has a month to go, which at 8.5 months with twins, I don't know. I don't have a lot of friends with twins, but the ones that I do, the doctors would be like, they are cooked 8.5 months, like, they are delighted you went this long. Have
Yeah.
fun.
Yeah, no
Having had those
kidding.
babies is good for me.
Yeah, no, but okay, whatever. I
But
guess they probably don't do, C-sections in
in
Christmasland.
Christmasland, you're on bed rest if that
Yeah.
happens. So, once again, Thomas is just sad that nobody will play with him. And because Sophie has to stay off her feet, Thomas is sad, and the mom has the same solution she has every Christmas. Why don't you move in?
I love it. I love it. Well, we always need the device to get everyone back in the house, and I've always appreciated the cleverness of
Yeah,
the
yeah,
devices to get everyone around the table.
it is. It's cute. Now the dad gets home. Susie's dad gets home and sees that Jerry is gone and is losing his mind. So I was gonna say the cat's out of the bag, but the bird is out of the window and everybody knows it now. So he is like extra mad at Stefan now. All right. Back at the fire station, Luke is okay. We see Hernandez again, who you remember from the second one. Hernandez
Hernandez
is
and
back.
Jones, the crime fighting we don't have this storyline yet, but Hernandez and Jones is the, diversified, fire investigation team in Christmasland. They're
Yeah,
gonna
they're
have their
probably
own
yeah, they're like maybe they're gonna be arson investigators. I would watch that movie.
I would watch
They're
it.
gonna fall in love though, of
Oh,
course.
yes, girl, yes.
Um, so he has brought his niece and his nephews to show them around the station. And they get a call. So Luke is like, "Hey, I'm about to have 3 kids, so why don't I watch
Shoot.
these 3 while you go on the call, and everything will be great. It'll give me a little practice run." Seems like a weird thing to do when you're on duty, because when he gets a call, he has to leave, and Luke, fortunately, is like, "Hey, I'm about to have 3 kids. Here are 3 kids. Why don't I watch them and see what it's like?" Um, well, the kids are terrible. They're just terrible. So he is flipping out. And he gets a call that I thought was hilarious, where it just like the phone on his screen, it just said Eric's dad slash neighbor. And I was like, is it their neighbor? Is it Eric's neighbor? Who is Eric? What's happening?
Oh, yeah, I is it but is it Eric's neighbor also? Is Eric's
Right.
dad also his neighbor?
I don't know. I had a lot of questions.
Eric's dad,
It doesn't even
and
matter, but these are the things that my brain wants to know. And it's not Googleable. So I'll
well,
never.
the point is he's overwhelmed.
The
These
point is
kids
he's
are
overwhelmed
they're
having
running all
three
over,
kids.
they're throwing trash all over,
Yeah,
they're,
they're just monsters.
smearing the fire engine, just little hellions. I don't have a lot of hope. These kids are gonna end up residents in Holiday Land. They're gonna
Yeah,
end up working at the Rhythm Room.
probably, probably. All right. So he is starting to panic that he is never going to be able to handle 3 kids. Taylor calls Noah out in Silicon Valley, and he's like, I don't know. I don't know if I can do it. The job is like my dream job, but I just don't know if I can move. So Noah says, well, what if we give you an apartment? Which they really want him, but some of those Silicon Valley firms, they've got the money to just throw at you if you're what they want.
Mhm.
Um,
Right.
and he says, listen, I need an answer by Christmas. So no, now we've got our Christmas deadline.
Mhm.
Check. Luke comes home and he's got Thomas with him because that call that he got from Eric's dad slash neighbor is to say that Luke pushed a kid at the park. And they're like, What is going on with him? He's not acting like himself, blah, blah, blah." And of course,
This is
nobody has.
probably the most violent person I've seen in Christmas.
Yeah.
Like, legitimately, this is probably like, this kid, Thomas, is probably has visited the most, but maybe Milo comes a close second. Milo
Milo,
from yeah, A
Princess for
Princess for
Christmas.
Christmas, but this is pretty close. This is, basically serial killer levels of psychosis in Christmas Land,
Yeah. He's just not Milo's age yet. He will be that bad.
and then they'll
But then
really have a problem on their
he'll be stealing 17 plus age video games in no time. So Luke does some soul searching and realizes that the reason he's freaking out is because when his dad had his third kid, he left. And he's like,
Mhm.
what if I turn into a horrible husband and father when I have 3 kids? Yeah. So they decide to make a best Christmas ever list, which, like I said, was almost like our trope list of like all the things that make a great Christmas, which is kind of
Yeah,
fun.
yeah.
But then Thomas, kind of says that the reason he's been acting out is because everyone is busy right now and they've all forgotten about him. So the next morning they have this like Christmas medieval battle with, wrapping paper forts and everybody's pretending to be Sir somebody or whatever. And they, have this great little moment with Thomas to
They
remind them.
always, because the brothers always come together for Thomas, and that's really how it's been from the beginning, right?
Yeah.
The first movie, they all rallied for this weird baby that showed up on their doorstep. The second movie, you see them rallying to save Thomas's play, and because at the core, this story is about, these 3 guys, growing up with alongside this little boy they decided to care for, so
Yep.
it's always teamwork for Thomas.
Teamwork for Thomas. Bob,
Yeah.
the dad, I've written it down here. It is Bob.
Okay.
It's time to go get a Christmas tree, but he doesn't really want to go help chop it down. He's like, "You're going to chop it down, right?" And they're like, "Well, yeah," even though they're definitely not. Um, so, they have to go find this like cheap Christmas tree lot where they sell like Christmas trees, but also small pets. It's like there's all this weird stuff going on. Um, Taylor drags his nephew, Thomas, to the bar to get him to apologize to Caroline, which I also hated. Don't get the kid involved in your stuff.
Oh, guys do this all the
Oh,
time. Yeah, my when our kids were little, his bros used to do that too. They used to, to bring the kids when they were in hot water with their
yeah,
girlfriends or wives because the kids were so cute, be a buffer. Yeah, because we were the first
yeah.
ones in our friend group to have kids. So, yeah, I'm gonna stick up for Taylor here. I think he was just apologizing, and then he can explain to her his very, I'm sure, rational thinking as to
All
why she's
right.
not ready. I'm sure there's a really great explanation. The kid's the setup. The kid's the setup.
All right. Back at the house. Jerry has come home. Jerry the bird is home.
Oh,
And
Jerry's home because Jerry felt like coming home. See,
Jerry was probably hungry.
Jerry be playing games. Jerry be out there playing games. You
And
can't
what is the first thing he does? Tells Bob that Stefan let him out. So they go to put the Christmas tree up, and a guinea pig comes out. So we know how Bob feels about rodents. Now
Yeah.
we've got a guinea pig. There's a rodent in the tree. Thomas says Christmas is ruined. Fiona walks into the room out of nowhere. Taylor passes out, which is a fun twist because usually Stefan passes out. So
Yeah.
everything is just chaos.
Where did the guinea pig come from? Did I miss the guinea pig?
At first, I was really confused too, but then I remembered that they bought the tree from like a tree and small pet lot, and they were like, "This is a really shady
Oh,
place to buy a Christmas tree," but it was only
okay,
had trees. So
oh,
I think that a guinea pig had gotten out and gone into the Christmas tree.
okay, that's funny. I'm sad that I didn't get that. That's
I
funny, I
was
didn't
like,
get
"Why is there a guinea pig in the tree?" But yeah, it took me a minute.
No, that's funny. I feel bad that I didn't get it at first.
So
Okay,
so they're all
I'm gonna
they're
laugh
all
about it posthumously here. Okay.
so they're all going to the ER where, of course, Kimberly Sustat works. So we
Yeah,
get her cameo. It turns out Bob, who was saying that he was bitten by a rodent, actually stepped on an ornament. He was not bitten by the guinea pig. Caroline shows up. She is furious that just Taylor is being Taylor. And that Fiona showed up and, the whole thing.
yeah,
So,
Fiona just literally had walked into the house, just I guess she was home for Christmas
I
and
don't know,
popped
yeah, she
over.
just
I don't know, she just showed up and then left again. All she was
yeah.
there was, "Hi." It was weird.
So the rest of his family finds out that he was asked to move to California, which he hadn't told anybody, and they all find out at the same time that Fiona actually works there and had gotten him the interview and all that.
It's a cute little scene, little goofy sort of exposition scene. I thought it was cute. I do wanna give a shout out here, Amelia, to the extras in this
Mhm.
scene. For some reason, my eye was on what was going on in the background, and I thought those extras nailed it. It would look like a busy bustling
Yeah.
hospital, and sometimes the extras look stiff, or they're looking at the camera, or they're not, acting germane to
Yeah.
their surroundings. I don't know why. I just thought the extra work in the emergency room scene was good.
The next morning, Susie is still mad at Stefan about the whole Jerry situation and just everything's not great between her fiance and her father. So Bob is like, I'm going to a hotel. I've had enough of this weird family. I'm out of here.
He says this family is a bit more, what did he say? This is a bit more energy than I'm used
Something
to,
like
or
that. Yeah.
something like that. I'm like, it's not that bad, but okay.
There's a lot going on in this house.
Yeah, but he lives in the guest house. He's staying in the guest house.
That's
He
true.
doesn't even have to be in the house. That guest house is huge, by the way. They all could have stayed in the guest house.
It's true. Taylor meets up with Fiona to, you know, to be like, what for? I mean, my first question would be like, why did you walk into my house yesterday with no notice?
Right. Random.
But she says that he is the best at what they do, and that's what they need. But he sets some boundaries about, I'm with Caroline now, all that kind of stuff, which is good. Good for you, Taylor. Um, and Sophie is really mad at Luke because there was a guinea pig in the tree, but I'm a little like confused about how that is Luke's fault.
So, yeah.
And Luke realizes that he has forgotten their anniversary, which was like his absolute nightmare from the beginning.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
So he's not doing great.
I think it's fair, though. I mean, you're delivering twins. I think it's fair to forget your anniversary.
Yeah.
I think.
The whole family kind of, including Barbara, the mom, they all tell Taylor, if this is the opportunity for you, and it seems like it is,
Yes.
you should go. You need to live your own life. You need to follow your dreams. Maybe it's time to go. Um, they also realize this evening, maybe the whole family, that the only person who knows what Thomas wants for Christmas is the mall Santa. None of them know what he wants. This is a problem. So they go back to the mall to see what he wanted for Christmas. And they're in the line, just these three grown men with no child to see Santa. And they're trying to ask, the elf if they can get some help. Turns out that the elf is the drama teacher who had like a nervous breakdown trying to do the grump play last year.
He was
So
one
he's
of
like
our villains.
one of our villains.
Yeah,
So he's
from
like, "Oh,
Three
I
Wisest
definitely remember this kid." And he doesn't wanna help at first, and then he's like, gets in the Christmas spirit. He's like, "Okay, fine, I'll tell you."
They
He
want
wants
again, this is another thing where you mentioned earlier on, Amelia, you said, like, I just feel like there's no plot here. I
Yeah,
didn't understand. We didn't have something
yeah.
to go get. The whole I when they went to do this, I thought, "Well, gee, why didn't they just make the whole movie this?"
That's what I thought too.
Yeah. You
I
could
thought
have
that
it
would've
would
been
have been
great if the
simpler.
whole plot was trying to find this toy. That would've been hilarious. They could have
Yeah,
done so many funny things.
agreed.
And they could have
I think
still had, Jerry could have escaped. They could have gotten a tree with a rodent inside. Everything could have happened, but around this backdrop of we're trying to have the best Christmas ever, and we can't even get the main toy. It
yeah,
works
I mean,
with Luke's thing about worrying about failing, everything
right.
works with that structure.
I
So,
agree. Hindsight's 2020, so I don't
yeah.
really need to and I know they're trying to wrap up a lot of storylines and, but yeah, I kinda thought we didn't need all that. We coulda just gone with the hunt for the this is like, that Arnold Schwarzenegger movie. What was that
Yeah,
one called?
Jingle All the Way.
Jingle All the Way. Yeah,
Yeah.
it's shades of that.
So, the elf is like, "Oh, I know," because he has an actual list of what every kid has asked for, like an actual physical list. But
Right.
he's like, "I'm not gonna
It's
tell you because
Christmasland.
I hate you guys." So they try to get the list, they're fighting over it, and they have another moment where kind of like with the play, the
They
set
destroy everything.
where everything falls down, knocks into everything else. The elf is left in the wreckage. And finally he's like, "Actually, you know what? I will tell you what he wanted. He wants the mighty mech, and you're not gonna find it because it is sold out everywhere. It's impossible. So have fun. Now you know, and you're never gonna find it." So they get kicked out of the mall. And here was our moment, Kira.
Mm.
What happens? Mark Leclerc drives up.
The GOAT, Mark Leclerc. We are fighting hard to get a Mark Leclerc,
Mhm.
spin-off movie. We might have to write it ourselves. I don't know.
Mm.
But yeah, Mark
And
Leclerc pulled up and I was, as usual, thrilled to see him.
yeah, they did not give him a ton to work with, but I was laughing out loud because he comes up and first he's like, so he drives up and he's like, "Hey, ding dongs," or whatever.
Yeah.
And then he's like, "Hold on, I'll be right back." And then like 2 seconds later, he's back. He went parked his car, just shows up. And it's just this tiny thing, but he's so funny the way he does it. I loved it.
Yeah. It was really it's really cute. Yeah, no, I don't know what else to
So
say. I love the
So
character.
he's like, "I'm actually also here for a mighty mech." He's like, "They're great. They do this and this and this." And he's like, "And they can also be your friend."
Yeah,
Which
you can make it he said you can program them to say anything you want, and they can be your friend too. I'm here to get one for myself.
And, like, I don't know, like, it was really good delivery though, because you felt for Mark Leclerc for
They're
that
like,
moment, you know?
he's gonna go buy his friend.
He's gonna go buy
He's
a
gonna
friend.
buy himself a friend for Christmas, and he was very sincere about it too.
He was super sincere. Mark Leclerc is always sincere.
Yeah.
So he's got, like, delivery schedules for this toy and, like, everything. And, we've got again, this is an ongoing thing in each movie. There's a moment where they have to wear either, like, Christmas jammies or they're in, like, matching ridiculous outfits.
Mhm.
So because they've been kicked out of the mall, they have to wear something silly, so that they're not recognized. So they're wearing actual suits this time, but they're super Christmassy. And then Mark Leclerc, for absolutely no reason, dresses like a gingerbread man. And they're like, "You don't need to be, like, in costume. You don't need to be incognito here." He's like, "I want to. I want to be."
Yeah, he's like, "We're on a mission. Mark
Yeah,
Clark's on a mission." He's just playing the part.
yeah. So they go to the store, ahead of the delivery coming in so they can grab a Mighty Mac the second it's on the shelf. But the delivery came in early. So it is absolute pandemonium in the store. Um, we get another funny moment where Caroline calls Taylor. So he steps away and he's having this really genuine conversation. And in the background, they're like fighting because, of course, there's a ball pit in the middle of the
Yeah,
toy store for no reason. They're fighting in the ball pit. They're out over the last toy.
they're fighting with a mom.
Yeah,
The
with a
mom
mom.
bitch.
There's all this chaos going on. Mark Leclerc did get one and just like disappears. And I was really sad. I was like,
Yeah.
there was not enough Mark Leclerc in this movie.
No, I wish we had had some kind of rap on Mark.
Yeah, it was sad. So Taylor is, finally is like, Caroline, I know this is the absolute worst timing, but I gotta go. And he like dives into the ball pit. They end up getting arrested because they've already been kicked out of the mall once. And
Mhm.
now they're back and they're, causing like actual physical mayhem fighting.
We've
And
seen
they're
a lot
in
of, prison time in, the Christmasland universe over the last few
There
weeks.
has been.
Frosty, there was also a jail cell, which we don't
Yeah. Well,
go
that was
on.
Holiday Land though, and that's just a whole different, you
Yeah,
know.
well, I guess what I'm starting to say I guess what I'm saying, Amelia, is that I'm starting to feel like this podcast is taking a bit of a darker turn,
Mhm.
you know?
Yeah.
We need to be careful.
We do need to be careful. So Susie has convinced Bob to come to dinner. And Barbara is like, listen, we're all just going to be normal. Nobody's going to act crazy. We're just going to have a nice, normal family dinner and show Bob that we are not a bunch of weirdos. And it was at this point, um, during the dinner, at the beginning of dinner, that the mom says something about our life here in Seattle. And I don't think, did we ever know that they were in Seattle? I don't ever remember knowing that.
Maybe in the first movie. Maybe in the first movie.
Yeah. Because I
But
mean,
I never thought about where they were.
yeah, because when they were talking when Taylor was like, "I don't know if I can move to California," I was like, "Okay, this is Christmasland, they're probably back east somewhere or in the Midwest."
Yeah.
If you're in Seattle, like, that's not too bad to go
That's
to
not
Northern California.
you're closer to Silicon Francisco from Seattle than you are from where I am in
Yeah,
California.
yeah.
Like,
So
I was like, yeah, that's a big prospect for someone like me to think about moving that far up north. But from Seattle to San Francisco, that's almost nothing.
yeah, I was like, all of this, like, internal angst, and
Yeah.
for that.
Yeah. All right.
So Stefan says that he and Susie have talked and they've decided the wedding is just kind of on pause for now. They're still together, they're still engaged, but the wedding is on pause. And
And they're
Bob is like,
still living
they're still
together.
gonna live together, forever. And Bob is like, okay, cool, great decision. And you can just see Barbara like fighting with the Holy Spirit to keep those words in her mouth, but she's not gonna. So she's like, this is a great family. Like, no one has a better heart than Stefan. There's no one that you want more for your kids, blah, blah, blah. And she is like, she just like gives it to Bob. Like,
I loved it. Like,
yeah,
mom just standing up for her son. Like, yeah,
yeah,
she knows her boys are knuckleheads, you know? She calls them out all the time, but they're her knuckleheads, and she knows they're good boys, and they've done a lot of good things for each other. I mean, again, but in Bob's defense, his daughter has been sleeping with this man for 6 years, and he has not made an effort to introduce himself to Bob.
right, right.
So, I kind of on Bob's side here.
And why has Susie also been, like, hiding him. Like, she
Yeah,
hasn't really made an effort either. It's
right.
a very strange relationship dynamic.
Yeah, I agree.
So, as so Barbara, um, lays into him, and at that moment, Sophie goes into labor with the twins. They all go to the hospital. Bob comes too, because why not? And he apologizes. He realizes that he has, misjudged Stefan, and everything is fine. Everybody's happy. And then the babies are already here at
Well,
this
I
point.
wanna say something about Bob again in this apology because he says in the apology, "Susie, I guess it's just that you're my baby girl, and I'm just getting used to the idea of sharing you." And I'm like, "But what are you talking about? You haven't seen these people in 6" maybe he's seen her, like, you haven't shared her with anybody for 6 years, or you've only been sharing her with people, like, you haven't seen her is my point. You
Yeah.
haven't seen this couple in the 6 years they've been together.
Yeah. But he's
Apo
fine with it now. So Luke just comes walking out of the back holding a baby girl in each arm,
Yeah, like you do.
which, yeah, definitely is not how you introduce new babies at the hospital. You walk into the emergency room, waiting room with babies
In
5 minutes after you
Christmasland
arrive. But in Christmasland, it is.
in
And
Christmasland, yeah.
of course, who the person who delivered them was also Kimberly Sestat.
Yeah, of course. She's been there for the entire family, yeah.
And Stefan finally just says, "You know what, Susie? We don't need to wait any longer." True. So let's just get married right now at the hospital chapel. They go, she goes and gets her dresses. That there's again a band in the lobby, and their tuxes just happen to fit the three Brenner boys perfectly. Taylor calls Caroline and gets her over there, but he calls her and says, "Come to the hospital right now. It's an emergency."
Yeah.
So that's cool.
I can only, again, assume that in Christmasland, you're not thinking the emergency is death or something like that because people die in the past in Christmasland, they don't die in the present.
Right.
So that was my only, like, okay, I guess I'll forgive him for making that phone call. Like, I guess we all agree no one's dying in the present.
I guess.
That's how I made it work in my mind.
Also, men. So Roy, and now finally we get Roy. Roy shows up and he's like, "And I can officiate." So we're all there.
Roy,
We
I
go.
was so happy to see Roy finally come in. I thought,
Mhm.
are we just gonna pretend that Roy doesn't exist? We loved Roy. We gave him our tree
Yeah.
topper award. We loved Roy.
Yeah,
Just
we just
really
love
happy
Roy.
to see him come back. But again, I got some questions about Roy and mom, but whatever.
So they go um get married.
But I do wanna say that I thought it was the cutest wedding
It
in
was a sweet wedding.
Christmasland that I have seen. I actually thought it was really sweet. I
It was.
loved the idea. Like, you know what? There's a hospital chapel here. We've got
Yeah.
all this stuff here. And I'm glad that they didn't make Susie do it without the dress.
I loved her dress.
It might seem like a silly little thing to take time out of the script to even say the words, "I'll go get your dress at home."
Yeah.
But it's Hallmark. And again, I have some complaints, which I'm gonna get to at the end here. But again, that felt like that's a little moment where the screenwriter is making a nod
Mhm.
to the audience saying, "We know you're here for the girl, and the girl always wears the dress.
Yeah,
So let's go get her dress. She deserves the dress moment."
he does. She
Mm.
deserved it 5 years ago. So Caroline shows up. Taylor asks her to move with him, not to marry him, but to move with him. And she's like, "Hooray, yay." So they're going to
Again, a scene
look, spirits in your house are not happy.
a scene a scene where it's supposed to be really romantic, really deep, and there's no romance. He's asking her if she'll go have uncommitted sex with him in perpetuity with no commitment. That's what the conversation is. That's literally what's underneath the
And she's
conversation.
like, "Yes, I'm so
He's
excited."
like, "Yes." He's asking her to give up everything for no commit, and then he has the nerve to say, "I want the whole thing, the house, the kids, the dog."
So propose.
Propose then. Why are you asked? But I don't want it with you right now. I just want all of the fun stuff that comes before that stuff. So will you come and give me all that fun stuff with absolutely no commitment to me
Yeah.
to have the rest of it later? Like, that's what it is, so deeply disrespectful. We've done such a disservice to our young people to tell them that there's some romance here.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. I know we don't like to get negative on this podcast, but they brought this to our table, not the other way around. So
Mm.
I'm definitely gonna comment on it. Definitely. I thought
I'm
this was such a cop out. It's not romantic.
no.
I think a woman who thinks that's romantic is a damaged woman. She's settling for something, um, when there's much more, you're worth much more than, "I'd like you to come be a placeholder until I'm ready
Yeah,
to really settle down and give you the
yeah,
whole thing."
and I don't we don't come to Hallmark to see real life reflected at us and the
No,
poor
we do
choices that
not.
people make in real life.
No, we do not. No, we do not come to Hallmark for real life. Hallmark is that's why it's a joke. That's why it's a punchline in a lot of sets of comedians, right?
Mhm.
You go to Hallmark because it is saccharine and impossibly
Yeah,
sweet and
yeah,
impossibly perfect. Everyone gets their happy ending. Everyone finds love. There
yeah,
is no messiness.
yeah, and
That's
we're
what
supposed to
makes it
believe
Hallmark.
this is a happy ending for them, and it's not.
That's not a happy ending. That's a maybe they'll get what they want,
Yeah,
right? Yeah.
but the movie does have a final happy ending
Yes.
thanks to Mark Leclerc
Mark
because
Leclerc, the goat.
because he shows up and that mighty mech that he bought to be his own friend, he shows up dressed as Santa and leaves it for Thomas.
Yeah.
And he doesn't say anything, he doesn't tell anybody where it came from, he just leaves it there outside the chapel and gets out. So
Again,
so the boys just come out, Luke comes out, he sees that there's a mighty mech, he can't believe it, he doesn't know where it came from. Mark Leclerc,
I
ladies
loved
and
it.
gentlemen.
Again, we need a Mark Leclerc movie. I
Yeah,
just really think this should happen. We've always talked about the like a fun side project of making like the B stories
yeah,
into little movies. But yes, I thought that was a really sweet way to say goodbye to Mark Leclerc. And isn't that he the perfect sort of frenemy for Christmasland, right? Because there's not too much negativity in Christmasland, but he
yeah,
is sort of the foil, if you will, but in the end, he's another part of the family.
yep. So that's how we leave the Brenner family, and our best friend Mark Leclerc.
Yes, that's how we say goodbye.
Yeah.
Alright, well, that is the end of Three Wisest Men. That's the end of the Three Wise trilogy.
Mhm.
Before we give out awards and wrap up our discussion about this movie, Amelia, give us your thoughts about the trilogy, the movie, this movie in general, but how are you thinking about this?
Overall, I still liked it a lot. I think this was maybe my least favorite of the 3, um, but that doesn't mean I didn't like it. The other
Mhm.
2 set a really high standard. They were just, funny and great, and,
Yeah.
I still like this one a lot. Obviously not enough Mark Leclerc. Stunning, stunning lack of Mark Leclerc, to be honest
Mhm.
with you. But still, still a good movie. I'm excited. I hope that this writing team continues to work together because they do put together a great movie.
Okay, I liked it. Again, I think, yes, I think it's the weakest of the 3, but not because of any talent issue. I just think it's difficult by the time you get to a 3rd
Yeah,
film, right?
yeah,
So, I don't that's not really a criticism, but it
yeah.
is the weakest of the 3. Unlike you, I hope Kimberly Susted and Paul Campbell do keep writing, but I don't want them to keep writing for Hallmark. I don't think Hallmark is where they should be writing.
Okay.
Maybe I actually think they just should be writing, period. I think they're a talented team. They have a lot of great ideas, but those ideas don't belong in Hallmark, and so before we get to the awards, since we're on this topic, let me read to you what she said in an interview about this film. And I think it's a great example. You can read some of the other cast members saying kind of the same thing. But this is a quote from Yahoo Entertainment. The Three Wisest Men stars Paul Campbell and Paul Campbell and Tyler Hines. Um, oh no, this is from Paul Campbell, not Kimberly Susted. I'm sorry. Paul Campbell and Tyler Hines, who is Taylor, are proud of how they've challenged the norms of typical Hallmark movie structures over the years. The reason that people keep coming back to these movies, largely as much as they're fun, is because they do reflect the human experience, said Campbell, 46. And those are very real things. We've sort of taken the gloss off of it and the polish, and we go, actually, life is messy and it's imperfect, and it doesn't have to fit into this neat little box and family. And, again, no disrespect to Paul, all love and respect to Paul as an artist and what I've loved everything you've given us. And you are the Hallmark person, not me, but I am the customer. So as much as you know about creating for Hallmark, I know about watching for Hallmark. There's
Right.
no you without me, right? So I'm telling you, Paul Campbell, that I think you've misread what people like about the movies. People do like that bite. They do like that humor. But they liked the innocence, and if you go back to your first movie, you'll see that that's what people were responding to,
Yeah.
and I don't think we do not turn on Hallmark for, n for messiness. My
No.
life is messy.
Yeah.
I don't want to see messy people on the screen. It's why I like the cheesiness of these movies. We don't want real life. It's not real life.
Yeah, absolutely. We don't come here for real life. We come here for life as we want to see it and feel good and Christmassy.
I want everybody to have a cup of hot chocolate whenever they want it. I want everyone's relationship to work out. I want everyone who's ever been in pain, I want to know that they're not in pain anymore, even though they have experienced it. I want children to have families and wives to have husbands and husbands to find wives and all of that stuff that you think is so cheesy and unreal and misrepresentative of real life is what makes Hallmark a genre. That's the brand. So
Yeah.
if you're gonna write outside of that, you need to go somewhere else. So no, I don't. I love this writing team. I think they
Yeah,
are
that's what
great.
I'm saying. I want them to keep writing. Yeah.
They're immensely talented. They're more talented than me. They've got more talent in their little pinky than me. So this is not a criticism of what they're capable of doing. And I don't mean to sound like I know more about their jobs at
Mm.
Hallmark than they do, but we are the customers. And what
Mhm.
we're saying is, no, please, we don't want that. We don't want more of this direction. I
Yeah.
don't want them writing at Hallmark anymore because they're going to normalize that. And this is a reason why we've already actually left Hallmark. This used to be a Hallmark exclusive podcast,
Yeah.
but we've left it because of this reason, and if we've done it, I wonder how many other Hallmark faithful people have done that too.
A lot. A lot. Yeah.
So I actually didn't appreciate
Mm.
that commentary, and I felt there were correct me if I'm wrong, writers, maybe you didn't mean this, but I'm a writer too, and I felt like there were a couple of points in the script where I felt like you were directly digging at the customer. It was
Mhm.
a direct poke at the customer.
Yeah.
"See, we're gonna give you what you don't want anyway, you just don't know."
Yeah.
All that being said, I love this trilogy. I had a great time watching this movie. I was nervous to sit down and watch it because
Yeah.
I knew what they were gonna do with this material, and again, they didn't need to go there. I felt that was a poke. They didn't need to go there with any of this. They could have not brought it up at all and
Yeah.
let us build in the details.
Yeah.
So, even though besides I did feel like the screenwriters were directly jabbing at their own customers a couple of times, had all the signature humor, all of the signature warmth. This family was a great family to enjoy, through a 3 series arc. Give us the Mark LeClark spinoff.
Please.
Yeah, please. Let us if they would let us, though, use their amazing idea, their idea, the superior idea, maybe they don't wanna write it, let me and Amelia write it for home. Do it.
We would be delighted.
We promise we will carry the torch of, like, all of your bite, everything that we love about what you do, we'll carry that, we promise. Keep it a little more innocent. Mark
We
McCluskey.
got this.
Alright. Alright, well, we're going a little long today, but this is the closeout of a pretty epic trilogy.
Yeah.
We'll excuse ourselves today, but let's give out our awards. Are you ready for that, Amelia?
I think so.
Okay, well, this is the time of the show where we hand out the performance awards in this, episode. And we start, as always, with the Robert A. Barron Award for Villainry. This is for the most villainous character in the show. Amelia, who did you have?
Taylor.
Taylor,
Mhm.
really?
Yep.
One of the boys is getting it?
Yep, Taylor's getting it. I think that Caroline deserved more.
You are so dead on. Caroline deserved more, and she settled for
Yeah.
that. He's still kind of a man child in the end, isn't he?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's too bad. All right, well, my, award for villainry goes to Thomas. I think that he was just kind of a little brat this whole movie, and even though I felt for him being ignored, it's like, yeah, but people do have stuff going on, Thomas, and you definitely shouldn't be throwing things at people, and definitely not in Christmasland. The
Yeah.
only thing you're allowed to throw is a snowball.
Fair. And like a
Yeah,
soft, fluffy snowball.
the
There's
soft
no ice, there's no heart attack snow in there.
prop snow.
Yeah.
Prop snow, that's the only thing you're allowed, so Thomas is my villain.
Okay.
All right. Okay. Well, let's move on to our next award. This is the Christmas Ham Award. This goes to the most over the top performance. Last movie when we did Wiser Men, we gave our Christmas Ham Award. Well, I gave mine to Mark Leclerc.
Mhm.
Um, and we have been enjoying just tagging him on Instagram and chatting with our Matt Hamilton is the actor's name, and he's been very excited about our our fandom, but well deserved, sir. We
He's
like
at
it,
least
and
he's at least tolerating us.
he's tolerating us, but it is fun. I mean, and I think it's fun too. You take on a role like that, you think it's gonna be insignificant, not a lot of people gonna see it, you're gonna get your payday and go on, so I think it's fun too when you get a little attention for it,
Yeah.
and you get acknowledged for the good work that you've done.
Yeah.
So, yeah. But back to our award, Christmas Ham Award. Amelia, who did you have for Christmas ham?
So this one I gave to Thomas. I think he did a good job of playing, he had a little more nuance this year
Okay.
of, he was going through some stuff as a little kid, and I think he did a good job of bringing that to life. And I realized that it's hard, like, usually that goes to a smaller character. Um, but Thomas didn't have a ton of screen time. I'm giving it to Thomas. That's what I'm
I
doing.
like it. I like it. I think that's actually a good pick. I hadn't really thought of it in that respect, but he was giving it his all. You're
Mhm.
absolutely right. And certainly no shade to the actor giving him the villain award. I just want you to know, young man, I don't think you're the villain. Just the character was
But
the villain.
Thomas was being a little bratty.
Yeah. Very good. Oh, great. Okay, my Christmas Ham Award goes to King's Hawaiian Rolls.
Okay.
I think they did a fantastic job in the role that they were given. They worked well with what they had. Um, they did what they were there to do. We knew exactly what they were there to do, and they did not disappoint. They delivered.
Mhm.
Twice, actually. There were 2 King Hawaiian Rolls placements
Yeah. Yeah.
in the movie, and I thought they knocked it out of the park both times, so Christmas Ham Award goes to King's Hawaiian Rolls.
Which I
Hallmark,
bet tastes
all
delicious
y'all
with the Christmas ham.
all y'all, more product placement. We don't hate it, we love it.
Put it right in our faces.
Great American Family does not take advantage of this enough. They do not do this enough. That's how Hallmark financed their early days, and they
Mhm.
should be doing it too. You should be assaulting us with product placements
Yeah.
in movies.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. So that okay, Christmas
Okay.
Ham Award. Well, great. And our
Tree
final
topper time.
Tree Topper Award. This is the Academy Award of Christmasland. Amelia, 3 films with these people. 3 films with these characters and this team. I'm dying to know who got your Christmas tree topper this final film.
Mark Leclerc.
No way! No way! Oh, I feel like that's like a come from behind, like, underdog win.
He Okay, so for this movie specifically, again, not enough screen time, but kinda like Thomas, but he brought some nuance and some emotion to
You're so
I
right.
had some feelings when he dropped off that toy.
Yeah.
Like, when I had some feelings about him saying, like, this toy is gonna be his friend, like, well, he didn't say it exactly, but and then when he left it for Thomas, I was like, "Okay, I'm having some emotions here." And then in all 3 movies, They would have just been a mess if Mark Leclerc hadn't come in and saved the day. So I tree chopper Mark Leclerc for this movie and for the series.
And that's perfect because it is. It's like, I love that you decided to do, like, a whole trilogy arc with your tree topper pick. And Mark Leclerc, perfect. I didn't see that coming, Amelia.
Mhm.
Great pick. I love it. Okay, my pick for Christmas tree topper, for like you, I took into account the whole series as well as this movie, and I have to give it to the writing team, Kimberly Susted, Paul
Yep.
Campbell. We as you guys if you guys have struggled through this podcast at all or are watching clips of us talk about you, you've heard what we have some issues, but all in all, I mean, we still what you did was amazing. It was a wonderful gift to the Hallmark universe, in
Yes.
particular, the Hallmark universe, but also great fun for
Yes.
Christmasland.
Well, and also I just wanna add Russell Hainline also worked on the last couple.
Oh, oh, thank you. Thank
Yeah,
you. Russell
he is
Handline.
also incredible. He
Yes.
also wrote Hot Frosty, which had that same humor that we loved, so
Thank you
wanted
for
to make sure I wanted to make sure we don't forget to mention him.
Okay, let's include them all in the graphics as well.
Yeah.
We'll include him as well. Thank you for mentioning that. So the whole writing team, that's my Christmas tree topper. I think they brought us home, besides some of our, little personal fusses, they landed the plane.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely, and it was a good trip.
It was a good trip. It was a good trip. I'm glad to wrap this up. I don't think we need a fourth. Don't get
Yeah, we're
to
good.
the thing where you then exhaust us with all of this,
Yeah.
right? Don't do that. Leave it right here. Everyone's good. But we will take the Mark Leclerc spinoff.
Yeah, we will. Yeah, we will.
Think about it. You could make it a series. You could just
I was
make it
just
a
gonna
web
say, I would
series.
take that as a Hallmark original series.
I would take it as a Hallmark original series. I would even take it as a little web series. Maybe you just put it on the Hallmark website,
Alright,
and you get 5
alright,
minutes of Mark Clark every night. I
alright,
don't
but
know.
yeah, I'm just saying, let's let's start higher with, like, a full series.
We're leaving a lot on the table here. I do think we need a
I
Mark.
want 20 episodes, minimum 5 seasons.
I feel like there is a lot. I just gonna go ahead and write it. I don't I know. We do. I get, but the fact that we're talking about Mark Clark. Again, it just goes to show you that this writing team was able to give you characters to care about, something to care about.
Yeah,
We watch a lot of these movies and we love them all in their own way, even the bad ones, but we don't remember all of the details. We don't leave with treasured characters.
yeah,
That's not necessarily a thing that happens in a place in a genre like this.
yeah,
Um and they just did such a great job with this series, is making us love these people and feel like they were a part of our lives. And again, I just wanna point out, Amelia, that's what we come for. We don't
that's
come
why
for the
we're
real
here.
life and the reflect we don't wanna see ourselves reflected, you know, back. I don't like looking at myself in the mirror. It's why I look at more beautiful people, more accomplished people, right? We don't wanna see that. We
You're
wanna see the
silly.
warmth, the innocence. Just harken back to a time when we didn't have to think about the crazy
Yeah,
stuff. Yeah,
exactly.
we'll take more of that, please. Well, any
Yes.
closing thoughts, Amelia, on for this, um,
No, I'm just
trilogy?
excited. I'm excited, I feel like we got a good I do feel like we got a good ending, like you said, even though we had a couple nitpicks with it. We do definitely need more Mark Leclerc, but and I hope they keep writing, like you said, maybe maybe for Netflix, maybe for Holidayland even, but
I would l You know what, y'all? I would love to see them go over to Netflix, not that Hallmark's gonna give them up because 'cause they're great team. And I the Hallmark has also the CEO has changed over there as well, so
Yeah,
their mission has changed a little bit, so I actually do think that they'll, want to keep Paul and Kimberly around, but as a fan, for my money, I'd ugh, I would love to see them over
I
there
think they
at
would
Netflix.
nail it at
Yeah,
Netflix.
they would nail it over there, and then they wouldn't be constrained by what they see as, the cheesy Hallmark,
Yeah,
rules and constraints. They can do a little bit more, they don't like that. I get that. I understand it.
yeah,
Go somewhere where you can do more.
yeah,
Yeah. But I again, I don't know that that's the idea. That's the other thing that bothers me is, like, sometimes I think the idea is to ruin this. It's to change me, not
Yeah,
right?
I agree.
So,
Yeah.
that's what I worry about. Um, Amelia, what's coming up next for people?
Coming up next is Christmas by Design, and this one was the result of some serious negotiation with your husband, by which I mean he said he wanted a movie from BET. I picked a movie, and then he said, "No, I don't want that movie. How
Mhm,
about one of these 3 movies?" and suggested the exact movie I had already picked. So I
mhm.
said, "Sounds good, but only because you asked," as though it
Welcome
was his
to
idea.
marriage. Wash, wash, rinse, and repeat forever,
So
forever.
excellent choice, Mark. I wish I'd thought of it.
Yeah, so anyway, we're doing Christmas by Design, and we don't know where we are. We don't know. This is on the border.
Yeah, we don't know if we're in Holiday
We're in
Land,
Christmas
Christmas
land.
Land. We're gonna
We
find
don't
out, though.
We're gonna
I'm
find out. We're
excited
looking
to
forward.
try a new channel, though.
I am, and by the way, if you have out there, in Christmas land, if you have requests, suggestions, we take suggestions, we take
Yeah.
requests. Amelia is the ultimate
Mhm.
she's the ultimate authority on what we pick. She chooses the movies. Um, but I do have a little bit of sway about the direction we go in, or sometimes they'll be like, "I'd like to do this," or "Can we do that?" So, you can send us, a suggestion, and we take all your suggestions
I am
seriously.
a benevolent tyrant when
She is a
choosing.
benevolent tyrant. It's Christmas land after all, right? Amelia, tell people where they can reach us.
You can reach us at Journey to Christmasland on Facebook and Journey to Christmasland at gmail.com. Or just when you subscribe to Journey to Christmasland at Substack, you can just hit reply. Or JT Christmasland on X and Instagram. But don't forget to subscribe to Journey to Christmasland on YouTube. Substack and YouTube are probably the main ones.
Yeah, I think Substack or YouTube, you'll be good to go. And really, Substack, I really feel is like going to be your place to be
Yeah.
over there. All right, Amelia. Well, it's been fun. I had a great time breaking down this whole trilogy with you. This was one of my favorite stops in Christmas
Yeah.
land. We'll be on another adventure next week, but until we meet again, I wish you days filled with warm, fresh King's Hawaiian rolls.
Which would poison me, but thank you. And I wish you the kind of friend who would leave you his mighty mech.
Merry Christmas, Amelia.
Christmas.